Good day, viewers. I am Jeannie Solis from BSA The English. For today's topic, we'll discuss Special Protection Against Child Abuse and Exploitation and Discrimination Act, are also known as Republic Act 7610. Before we move on to the lesson, let us first know the objectives of today's topic. At the end of this discussion, viewers are expectedly first understand the content of RA 7610, second, learn and analyze the offenses against children under RA 7610, and lastly, know the penalties of each offenses. These are the topics to be covered. What is RA 7610? Who is covered for RA 7610, and what are the offenses against children under RA 7610? What is RA 7610 all about? Republic Act 7610, Special Protection of Children Against Abuse, Exploitation, and Discrimination Act. It is an act providing for stronger deterrence and special protection against child abuse, exploitation, and discrimination, providing penalties for its violation and for other purposes. All states have enacted laws for the protection of children from abuse and neglect. The state shall intervene on behalf of the child when the parent, guardian, teacher, or person having care or custody of the child fails or unable to protect the child against abuse, exploitation, and discrimination, or when such act against the child are committed by the said parent, guardian, teacher, or person having care and custody of the same. So the state will protect and rehabilitate children gravely threatened or endangered by circumstances which it will affect their survival and normal development and over which they have no control. Who is covered for RA 7610? Under RA 7610, children are persons below 18 years of age or those unable to fully take care of themselves or protect themselves from abuse, neglect, cruelty, exploitation, or discrimination because of their age or mental disability or condition. The target of this act is those children with ages below 18 years old. Now, before we start our discussion, let us first unlock the terms. Child abuse refers to maltreatment, whether habitual or not, of the child, which includes any of the following. First, psychological and physical abuse, neglect, cruelty, sexual abuse, and emotional maltreatment. Second, any act by deeds or words which debases, degrades, or demeans the intrinsic worth and dignity of a child as a human being. Child prostitution designates the use of children for sexual activities in exchange for remuneration or another form of retribution, gifts, food, clothes, etc. These activities include another the umbrella term of sexual exploitation. Child trafficking. Trafficking of children is a form of human trafficking and is defined by the United Nations as the recruitment, transportation, transfer, harboring, and or receipt, kidnapping of a child for the purpose of slavery, forced labor, and exploitation. Those are the terms that associated under this Republic Act 7610. Now, let's move on to the offenses against children under RA 7610. There are 6 offenses against children under RA 7610. Those are child prostitution and other sexual abuse, attempt to commit child prostitution, child trafficking, attempt to commit child trafficking, obscene publication, and indecent shows. Let us know each of these offenses and its associated penalties. Child prostitution and other sexual abuse. Who are deemed to be children exploited in prostitution and other sexual abuse? Children exploited in prostitution and other sexual abuse are those children, whether male or female, who for money, profit, any other consideration, or due to the coercion or influence of any adult, syndicate, or group indulge in sexual intercourse or mischievous conduct. Who may be liable for responsible by law? Those who engage in or promote, facilitate, or induce child prostitution, which include but are not limited to the following: acting as a procurer of a child prostitute, inducing a person to be a client of a child prostitute by means of written or oral advertisement or other similar means, taking advantage of influence or relationship procure a child as prostitute, threatening or using violence toward a child to engage him as a prostitute, or giving monetary consideration, goods, or other pecuniary benefit to a child with intent to engage such child in prostitution. Next, attempt to commit child prostitution. Any person who, not being a relative of a child, is found alone with the said child inside the room or cubicle of a house, an inn, hotel, motel, pension house, apartment, or other similar establishment, vessel, vehicle, or any other hidden or secluded area under circumstances which would lead a reasonable person to believe that the child is about to be exploited in prostitution or other sexual abuse.
Child trafficking. Any person who shall engage in trading and dealing with children, including but not limited to the act of buying and selling of a child for money or for any other consideration or barter, or shall suffer the penalty of reclusion temporal to reclusion perpetuum. The penalty shall be imposed in its maximum period when the victim is under 12 years of age. Attempt to commit child trafficking. Allowing a child to travel alone to a foreign country without valid reason. Recruitment of women or couples for childbearing for purposes of child trafficking. Simultation of birth by doctor, hospital, clinic, official, etc. for purpose of child trafficking. Finding low-income families, hospitals, etc. to sell. Penalty, 2 degrees lower than the prescribed for the consummated felony.
Obscene publication and indecent shows. Any person who shall hire, employ, use, persuade, induce, or coerce a child to perform an obscene exhibition and indecent show, whether live or in video, or model an obscene publication or pornographic materials, or to sell or distribute the said materials, shall suffer the penalty of present mayor in its mention period. Any accedant, guardian, or person entrusted in any capacity with the care of a child who shall cause and or allow such child to be employed or to be participate in obscene play, scene, act, movie, or show in other state acts covered by the section shall suffer the penalty of present mayor in its mention period.
Before I end this video, let me leave you a quote. There's no greater inhumanity in the world than hurting or belittling a child. That's the end of my report. I hope you have learned something for today's discussion. Thank you for watching and God bless us all.